Following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. For the second time this year, the Yankees have traveled to Arlington, Texas to face the Rangers, and the Rangers decided that last night was a good night to make mincemeat out of Don Gullett. In the second, they bat around or send 9 runners to the plate. Richie Zisk got it started with a solo shot to make it 1-0. Mike Hargrove, the human rain delay, now has a 10-game hitting streak. And Bobby Thompson, no doubt that one, a 3-run blast, his second of the year, to make it 4-0 Texas. In the seventh, they sent 8 to the plate and scored 4 more. Toby Harrah, RBI single, 5-0. Jim Sundberg with a ground ball fielder's choice, 6-0. Richie Zisk, another double, this time to score Harrah, 7-0. And John Ellis closed the scoring for Texas with an RBI single to score Zisk, 8-0. Roy White got a run on a fielder's choice to get the lone Yankees run, but John Matlack goes to 10-2. He throws a 3-hitter. Don Gullett gets pummeled, and the Rangers are 42-37 as we get set for another game in our replay. As Retro Sports Network presents Major League Replay 78 tonight, July 6, 1978, from Arlington Stadium in Arlington, Texas. It's the Texas Rangers and the New York Yankees. Brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spreaker, Spotify, iTunes, and wherever else fine podcasts are listed. Doc Medic versus Dick Tidrow next. It is not impossibly hot in the Dallas-Fort Worth area as we get started on this July 6th evening. It's only 85 degrees. It could be a lot worse. There is a wind from right to left at 12 miles an hour, and Doc Medic hopes to continue the Rangers' push towards the American League West crown with a win today over the New York Yankees. Remember, the Yankees are chasing the Baltimore Orioles. Last time I looked, they were 1 game out. We'll go through that in a few minutes. So I hope you are doing well on this Tuesday or Wednesday. It's a Wednesday. I forget what day it is. Anyway, it's there. So glad to have you along. So the Yankees, this is halfway through the season. This is game 81. They're 47-33. The Rangers, game 80. They are 42-37 as we kind of zip to the All-Star break, with the All-Star game being in about 4 days. It might, I don't know, figure out when we'll actually do that. So let's get set on a warm night in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for some baseball. And you can see Doc Medic warming up. And we go, how you doing, Kurt Berglund, Appa Chatter, and Mark Forsberg. Glad to have all you along. Medic is 5-3 on the year with a 4.5 ERA. He is making start number 9 of 22. He is a 5-game winning streak. He is a fastball pitcher. He's a fly ball pitcher. And the fly ball travels at about 86 miles an hour. His last start was 5 nights ago against the California Angels. 7 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, all earned. He walked 6 and struck out 5. So overall, Medic 70 innings, 73 hits, 2 home runs allowed, 35 runs, all earned. He's walked 31 and struck out 36. And he gets to face the New York Yankee lineup, which is pretty much almost healthy. Let's see how they line up. Mickey Rivers, who will get to know Arlington pretty well in the future, leads off in center field. Roy White in left field will bat second. Thurman Munson behind the plate will go third. Chris Chambliss cleans up at first. Craig Nettles at third will bat fifth. Lots of lefties here against Medic. Reggie Jackson will bat sixth and is the DH. Gary Thomason is in right. He'll go seventh. Bucky Dent back in the lineup for the Yankees at short. He'll bat eighth. And Fred Stanley is still in for Willie Randolph, batting ninth at second base. Dick Tidrow should throw about 110 pitches. Defensively for the Rangers, Richie Ziska 5 and a 4 in left. Bobby Thompson is a 7 and a 2 in center. And Barry Bonds is a 7 and 8 in right. Toby Harrah a 5 at third. Bert Campaneris is an 8 at short. Bump Wills a 7 at second. And Mike Hargrove at 8 at first. Jim Sundberg is a 9 and a 10 and a 9, rather, behind the plate. And Medich, or did I say Barry? I meant Bobby. Really. Medich is a 7 and a 9.79 fielding percentage on the mound. So, it's Amazon Show is what you got for the ad, huh? So, a warm night in Texas, but not unbearably hot. There is a bit of a breeze. Everyone should be enjoying their Dr. Pepper. Mickey Rivers at 325 for homers and 22 RBI. And this one starts with a liner into right field. Bonds throws it in. Barry Bonds. Oh, they yank him out of the game. Anyway, no, it's Bobby. So a leadoff single for Rivers, and that'll bring up Roy White at 236. 4 homers and 18 RBI. Good size, crowd on hand. The Yankees always draw well on the road. And the Rangers are, of course, looking to win the American League West for the first time. That's right, Eric Metcalf played for the Browns, and quite a few times they called him Terry. That happens. Tribe fan. Pitch to White is a base hit into left field. Zisk will pick it up, and the Yankees have 2 on and nobody out for Thurman Munson at 265. 2 homers and 43 RBI. So noontime baseball for you tomorrow and Friday. Pitch to Munson. Ground ball to Campaneris. Might be 2. Wills for 1. They're going to have to hurry over to Hargrove at first, and Thurman beat it out. So fielder's choice and runners in the corners for Chambliss. Rivers on third, Munson on first. It goes 6-4 on the card. Chambliss at 262. 5 homers and 43 RBI. Big Clue says that was so long ago the Browns were half decent. That's true. That's absolutely true. And Steve saw Eric Metcalf play in college. Pitch to Chambliss is a ground ball to Hargrove. They're trying for 2. Campaneris for 1. Back over to Hargrove. I believe the run will score. Chambliss is safe on first, and the Yankees are up 1-0. They argue about the Browns in the chat, and I'll tell you that Greg Nettles is hitting .346, 16 homers, and 56 RBI. A former Cleveland Indian. 2 out, 1-0 Yankees. And it helps to hit the right button. Why was he nicknamed Puff? That's interesting. Anyway, the pitch from Medic is into right center field. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Nettles should have 2. Chambliss around third. Wills will cut it off. The throw to Sundberg, not in time. And so Thompson made the bad play. Nettles is in with a double, and the Yankees are up 2-0. Because Nettles had a magic dragon? Maybe. Or he just knew how to blow. Speaking of that, here's Reggie Jackson at 308, 16 homers and 53 RBI. So a big run there for the Yankees here in the top of the first. Pitch to Reggie is a base hit right field. Nettles will round third. Bonds will not throw, and it's 3-0 New York. So not the start Texas wanted at all. And now bring up Gary Thomason at 276. Oh, okay. Big Clue will tell us in a second here. Thomason, 3 homers and 9 RBI. Pitch from Medic is popped up. Sundberg takes off the mask into foul territory and up against the screen, and that will retire the side. However, the Yankees get 3 runs on 4 hits and no errors. Dick Tidrow coming to the mound, 3-0 New York. Nettles had a habit of vanishing from the clubhouse when he'd play a practical joke. hence Puff. I like that. That's a good one. Dick Tidrow making his 13th start of the year. His nickname is Dirt. He is 5-4 with a 3.76 ERA. He went against Texas on April 10th. 9 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs, and struck out 6 in a win. Last time out, Milwaukee beat him on the 28th. 3 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs, all earned. He walked 3 and struck out 2. 85-mile-an-hour fastball, a fly ball pitcher here. 91 innings, 84 hits, 7 home runs, 41 total runs, 38 earned. He's walked 29 and struck out 44. Oh, Lorenzo had to wash his gravity blanket. And they definitely are heavy. How are you? Bottom of the first, the Yankees with a big top of the first to go up 3-0. So here's a lineup that Tidrow will face. Bobby Bonds will lead off in right field. Bump Wills will bat second and play second. Jim Sundberg behind the plate goes third. Richie Zisk is in left field. He'll clean up. Mike Hargrove, the human rain delay at first, will bat fifth. Toby Harrah at third goes sixth. The Vermonter, Pat Putnam, the DH, will bat seventh. Bert Campaneris with the matched hits will bat eighth and play short. And Bobby Thompson, whose defensive lapse allowed 2 runs to score, will play center field and go ninth. And Medich, 24 pitches in the first. So here's how the Yankees are defensively. Roy White, a 7 and a 1 in left. Mickey Rivers, an 8 and a 5 in center. I can't imagine Gary Thomason being better than Reggie Jackson. He's a 3 in right field. Craig Reynolds is a 10 at third. Bucky Dent is a 6 at short. Fred Stanley a 3 at second as they wait for Willie Randolph to heal. Chris Chambliss is a 10 at first. Thurman Munson a 9 and an 8 behind the plate. Tidrow is average but with a perfect fielding percentage. Bobby Bonds at 253. 6 homers and 29 RBI. Wills ended up going to Seattle, where good ball players went to die in the 80s. Bobby Bonds hits a pop-up the left side. Dent, 1 out for Bump at 235. 8 homers and 21 RBI. Has good speed, stole 25 bases already. Tidrow. Ground ball to second. Stanley flips it over. And there's 2 out for Sundberg. Jim at 259. 3 homers and 19 RBI. Rangers and Yankees for you. Lunchtime on a Wednesday. Pitch to Sundberg. Base hit left center field. So we drilled that one over Dent. And so that's the first hit. 4 hits for the Yankees in their half of the first. Big Clue discovered the other day that Maury Wills was actually quite a good player in his Pittsburgh years. Yes, he was. Also among the top 5 third basemen in the league both years. You know who he dated? Richie Zisk. This is with Los Angeles. I'm not sure if it was with Pittsburgh. Richie Zisk at 281, 14 homers and 54 RBI. Pitch to Zisk is into center field. Rivers will flag it down, and that will retire the side. Texas gets a hit, and that's it. No runs, a hit, and no errors. After 1, 3-0 Yankees. Well, Lorenzo says the wife did not want the blanket washed at home, a fear of damage. Yeah, you don't want to ruin the drum with something that goes clunk, clunk, clunk. So off to what he calls a commercial washing locale. On the East Coast, we call those laundromats. Just saying. Here's Bucky Dent, 237, 3 homers, and 16 RBI. Surprised Lorenzo didn't chime into the Maury Wills question. He was a good player in Pittsburgh. He dated Doris Day. She was a regular at Dodger Stadium when it opened in '62, and she was a regular with him for a while. Pitch to Dent is a ground ball to third. Harrah over to Hargrove, 1 out. Maybe. Yes. Brings up Fred Stanley at 256, 2 homers and 10 RBI. Having a good year. So by this date, Billy had been fired or resigned. I don't know. I thought it was later than that. Mr. Mike told me when it was. Someone could Google that and let me know. I don't think Billy had been let go yet. I could see Billy putting Reggie as a DH because he'd sit there and hot dog in right field. Pitch to Stanley is a line drive, and Wills is there for the out, 2 away. So a better inning for Doc. 9 batters, 30 pitches, an inning and 2/3, 3 runs all earned, and 4 hits. Yeah. Hey. America's sweetheart. Lorenzo's one of his dad's old bosses years ago. Had a son who played for the Angels and dated Mamie Van Doren. Ooh, there's a name that you'll never hear in a Fortnite stream. The poor man's Jane Mansfield. I got to meet her as a young kid. Yet Doris passed away within the last year. She did a lot with animals. Lived in Northern California. Lived to be 100. Such a nice woman, too. Absolute sweetheart. Good friends. She pretty much went into seclusion after Rock Hudson died, who's her good friend in those movies. Rivers singled and scored his first time up. Ground ball to third. Harris got to hurry. Rivers can run. And Rivers is out by an eyelash on the bang banger. So how about that? No runs, no hits, no errors. The Yankees go in order. We go to the bottom of the second. 3-0 New York. Yes, Hudson was the first big outing because he was the most famous AIDS death at the time. That was a couple years before Ryan White. All right, let's take a look at the standings. Let's talk about some baseball, shall we? The Royals have a 1.5 game lead over the Rangers and the Angels. Kansas City at 44-36. The Rangers have won 7-10, including last night against the Yankees. And California 43-38. Of those 3 teams, the Rangers have the best run differential, but they're only a .500 team at home. In the East, the Yankees are a half game behind Baltimore. Milwaukee 3.5. Kurt will be happy with that. And Boston 6.5. And Detroit is slipped behind Toronto. National League, the Dodgers 5.5 over Houston and 8.5 over Cincinnati. In the East, Philadelphia by 3.5 over Pittsburgh, who finally has found their balance again. They've won 3 straight. Kurt asked me this morning what I thought of the races, and I do think the Dodgers have the easiest road to hoe coming down the stretch. All right, I started to read that, and I'm going, what are you doing with that? So since the human rain delay is at the plate, Hargrove, a 10-game hitting streak, hitting .305, 5 homers, and 36 RBI. Lorenzo says, animal cruelty is a trait found in those prone to developing serial killer traits. That's true. And I believe the opposite is also true. Kindness to God's other creatures like animals may be proof of a decent heart. Too broad? That's true. I think in Doris's case, I think she had the money and the wherewithal to do what she wanted. So, my goodness, we went from talking about Maury Wills to serial killers. You never know what we're going to get here. And Doris Days. Que sera, sera. Dick Tidrow, wherever he'll pitch, he'll pitch. It's a fly ball to right, you'll see. It's in Thomason's glove. There. Brings up Toby Harrah at 232, 4 homers, and 30 RBIs. You'll hear none of this on a Fortnite stream. Or maybe anything else on Twitch. Tidrow's pitch, Harrah into left field. White, that's foul, and somebody from Irving wearing a fedora made that catch. What's Tom Landry doing here? Count is 0-2. Tidrow isn't going to strike out many. He struck out 73 and 185 in the third. Pitch to Toby is a little ground ball to first. Chambliss takes it to the bag himself for the out. Fortnite, we make the joke, it's pretty much a young people's game, so you're not going to hear him discuss Doris Day or the stuff that you hear on our Stuff at Night. Oh, wow. Maybe Van Dorn's still with us. Andrew's friends with her. She still looks good at 89. Here's Pat Putnam from Bethel, Vermont. 241, a homer, and 7 RBI. 2 out, 3-0 Yankees, bottom of the second. Ground ball to Dent. Makes a fantastic diving stop from his knees. Throws to first and got him. Bo Belinsky's fiance. Oh, okay. Big Clue has a legitimate question. Is the current younger generations objectively less interested in information about the past? I don't know. I think we just kind of stick to our own generation and really don't know as much about them. Yeah, he remembers growing up in the 70s and 80s, knowing all well who movie stars, singers were from the 30s, 40s, and 50s. I suppose it depends on what your grandparents are interested in. Clinton Parks from his car in Scarborough, Maine. Here's Roy White. He singled his first time up. Yankees got 3 on the top of the first. 3-0. Pitched from Doc, ball 4. Not who you want to walk. And White's on. I honestly don't know. I had to explain to somebody a while ago who Billy Crystal was. I just about fell out of my bed. Here's Thurman Munson. He's 0 for 1. White not a threat to steal. Pitch from Doc. Ball 4, so 2 walks in a row, and now you face the heart of the Yankee lineup, Chambliss, Nettles, and Jackson. I know, right? Inconceivable. Well, baseball isn't a young person's game anymore. But you would think that being grandparent age, you'd know who would tell the kids who Woody Allen was. And I know that my niece and nephews have watched E.T. for the first time. And so they do get it. Depends on what their parents and grandparents were into. Pitch to Chambliss, who's got an RBI. Ground ball up the middle. Campaneris only plays to first. Hargrove on the bag. They got him. But White and Munson move up to second and third, and there's 1 out for Nettles, who doubled home a run in the first. And that's the case. When Miss Forsberg grew up, 50s music was oldies. Now it's our generation. When Big Clue taught Sunday school, some of my students were singing a song they all knew. I asked them what the song was because the lyrics were familiar. They said Faith by Limp Bizkit. Baby Van Dorn was married to Denny Myers, and she went to one of the ranches owned by my father's boss, Paul Myers. McCall magazine executive, and doubled into a gentleman farmer. At the ranch, I met her, and she actually grabbed my hair and said some nice things to me. Appichata playing some basketball. And they didn't know who George Michael was. Billy Crystal, the greatest thing I ever saw on TV was when he did that wonderful Muhammad Ali imitation in that 19-minute tribute on his history at Ali's funeral. Absolutely. Yep, for sure. So second and third, 1 out for Nettles. And Craig hits that one deep to right. Back goes Bonds. Goodbye. Home run. And the Yankees have broken this one open early, 6-0. That's the 17th home run of the year for Nettles. If it wasn't for Rice in Boston, Nettles would be an MVP candidate. Bob Seger turned 75 today. Wow. So 6-0 Yankees. Yep, puff, the ball disappeared. So Jackson waves it back and forth. Singled his first time up, and that'll be it for Medic. Willie Mays turns 89 today. Kurt Berglund with the joke. Ironically, Bo Belinsky grabbed Mamie's hair, but for an entirely different reason. Oh, yes. Yep, still the same. One of my favorites. So let's see what the Texas bullpen is. I can go with Steve Comer. We got a pitching change. His game is coming to you from Arlington Stadium in Texas. Altuve turns 30. Still going to be carded till he's 75. So Comer will start 11 games. He hasn't done any yet. 16 games in relief. 2-0 with an ERA of 3.18. All right, Clinton, safe travels. Comer pitched again on the third against the White Sox for 3 2/3. 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned. No walks and a strikeout. So 45 innings, 56 hits, 2 home runs allowed. 23 runs, 16 earned. He's walked 17 and struck out 33. Ground ball pitcher. Probably better against this lineup. Fastball at 90. And against the Yankees, this is his 6th appearance, 6 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He walked 2 and struck out 5. And has an ERA of 2.70. Runner on first is Jackson. Thomason's 0 for 1. Pitch from Comer is a little number down to Hargrove. Flips to Campaneris for 1. Back to first. That should be safe. It is. It's a fielder's choice, 3-6. There wasn't a better player than Mays back then. Bucky Dent 0 for 1. Comer deals. Ground ball right up the middle. Comer stabs it over to first, and that will retire the side. And so, finally, the Yankees get 3 on the big blast by Nettles. 2 hits and no errors. We go to the bottom of the third. It's the Yankees 6, the Rangers nothing. So, Campaneris, Thompson, and Bonds to face Tidrow here in the bottom of the third. Campy at 212, 2 homers and 30 RBI. Oh, Ruth's pretty good. Pitch to Campaneris. Ground ball to Dent over to first for the out. Oh, I'd take Mays over Mantle. Here's a dirty little secret, Kurt. I'd take Yogi over Mantle, too. Bobby Thompson is at 252, 2 homers and 12 RBI. Matches real-life numbers. Ball 4. Campaneris on second, Thompson on first for Bobby Bonds. And that's true. Mantle never had to face the best team in the league until after 64. Absolutely. Although the Yankees' pitching was never great. It was good, but it was never great. Tidrow, speaking of good, 39 pitches through 9 batters and 2+ innings. A hit and a walk. Bobby Bonds retired his first time up. Campy on second, Thompson on first. Both have excellent speed on the bases. Pitch to Bonds is into left center field. Rivers makes the catch. Campaneris will bluff, but he will not go. Lorenzo's favorite all-time player is Koufax. I mean, Mantle is very, certain inner circle Hall of Famer. And yeah, thanks to DiMaggio, Mantle got hurt in that World Series. So here's Bump Wills. He's 0 for 1. Tidrow's pitch is a line drive into right field. That's a base hit. Campaneris will score. Thompson goes to third. Chambliss with a rare poor play, and it's 6-1. Mays also got hurt playing at Candlestick all those years. Back when the stadium was not enclosed and the wind just howled through there. He still had 660 home runs. But he had a lot taketh away playing half his year on the point. Sundberg's single, by the way, his first time up. Struck him out. He got him on a 1-2 at 83 on the outside corner. 2 out for Zisk, who's 0 for 1. I would contend that Mays was the better player. Pitch to Zisk. Got away from Munson. Thompson will score. Willis goes up to second. And it's now 6-2. So the Rangers fight back. That's true. Mays lost 2 years fighting in Korea. And if we're going to talk about people who lost numbers to the war, may I introduce Exhibit Boston, Ted Williams. So a 1-2 count to Zisk. And Tidrow couldn't get the shutdown inning. Got him. He did strike him out. A 1-2 in the knees, and that'll do it. 2 runs, a hit, and 1 error. After 3, Yankees 6, Texas 2. So Stanley, Rivers, and White to face Comer, who's in to relieve. Stanley's 0 for 1. Ali lost a couple years. I think the National League was tougher. As a hitter, Ted wasn't a good fielder. I'm not even trying to insinuate that at all. But Ted Williams was probably the best pure hitter who ever lived. Tony Gwynn might have that argument. As we're getting into an argument. Semantical argument here, which is great. Just keep it nice. Pitch to Stanley is a ground ball up the middle. Wills behind the bag, over to first for the out. What was he all... as a pure hitter, though? I mean, Gwynn was chasing 400 in 94. What was the All-Star spread in the 50s? Okay. Here's Rivers. Mickey's 1 for 2. Single and a run scored. Pitch to Mickey is a ground ball to Campaneris. Over to Hargrove for the out. Well, those who watched more West Coast baseball than I are telling me I'm wrong. And that's fine. Oscar Charleston was a massive hitter. Roy White singled and scored and walked. Kurt's doing some Negro League stuff for Pine Tar. And there's a liner to left. Zisk is there, and that will retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 4th. No runs, no hits, no errors. The Yankees go in order. It's still 6-2 New York. Tony put on a lot of weight in the latter half of his career, too. It'll be Hargrove, Hara, and Putnam to face Tidrow here in the 4th. Mike is 0 for 1. Texas Arlington Stadium is not a hitter-friendly park. Lefties are minus 6%. Homers minus 13. Righties should hit the league average there, but home runs at minus 14. Wind, however, is blowing out to right center at 11. They actually have the season's big clue. And that's true. Gwynn traveled more by a good amount. Remember, in Williams' day, the American League never played west of Kansas City, and that was only in the 50s. Pitch to Hargrove is a ground ball to second. Stanley over to first. 1 away. And yet more night games. The Red Sox were notorious for playing a lot of day games. They didn't even have lights there till after the war. Harris 0 for 1. Pitch to Toby is in the right center. Rivers has it for the out. You know, I think Wade Boggs probably deserves to be as the best pure hitter conversation, but he was so focused on trying to double. I think it took away from other things. He'd have had the power if he wanted the home runs. Pat Putnam's 0 for 1. George Brett, of course. George Sisler. And, of course, you know, we've kind of forgotten one of the modern players, Ichiro. Pitch to Putnam is into right field. Thomason will travel over into right center and make the catch. Anybody look up when Martin was fired? I think he was still in the dugout. In fact, wasn't it this trip that he punched out a toilet, or am I thinking of a couple years later? Thurman Munson is 0 for 1. He has walked and scored. As we start the top of the 5th. No runs, no hits, and no errors. You got me tucked with a chat, and I'm not paying attention to the ball game. We go to the 5th. 6-2 New York. Comer delivers, and there's a ground ball to Campaneris over to Hargrove for the out. Martin was fired July 25th, so this is part of Billy's spat with Reggie. Yankees, of course, are in a lot better shape in this replay than they were in the real life. In fact, I'm not even sure now if they lost everything until July 14th or whenever they started that comeback, that they could get 14 and a half behind. Chambliss 0 for 2 with an RBI. Now he's 1 for 3 as he punches that one into right center. So 1 out for Nettles, who's had himself a whale of a ball game. He has doubled and homered, his 17th of the year, and he's driven in 4. That's 60, on pace for 120. Pitch struck him out. Comer got him on a 1-2 fastball. Yeah, Martin resigned the same way I did from my job with the city. When you come to work and they have the resignation letter for you all typed out, would you please sign this? Okay. Here's Reggie. Reggie is 2 for 2. He singled twice and drove it in his 54th run. Yep, Gwynn only played for San Diego. There were patches where San Diego was good, and there were splotches when they weren't. Jackson into right field. Bonds is there. And that will retire the side. Halfway home. Hope you're enjoying this one. Yankees 6. They get a hit and leave them on. Texas 2. Well, before talking about getting fired as a police dispatcher, let's tell you what we've done here. Greg Dendle's 3-run shot's the big difference that you joined us late. Texas got 2 in the bottom of the 3rd. So 6-2 New York. Tidrow, 2 hits through 4. And Doc Medich didn't even make it out of the 3rd. 2 in the 3rd, 6 hits. 6 runs all earned to give up the home run to Nettles. And he walked 2. Comer has pitched very well in the relief. Campaneris is 0 for 1. He reached on an error, I think, and scored. I got hired in 2003 to be a police dispatcher. But the job required so much physical stuff. You got to be so fast. I just couldn't handle it. I could type to 25 words a minute. That's a long story. But yes, so it was just too much to do, and I did my training, finally got on the floor, because it's a combo, it's a fire police in my city. A smaller department I probably could have handled. But I came to work, knew that it wasn't going well, and they handed me a resignation letter. Please sign. And so I did. Got out of that one. It was, we're a city of 40,000, and my coworkers just didn't know what to do with somebody in a wheelchair. But when you're playing with other people's lives, you can't be slow. And one thing at a time I can do and do quite well. But trying to handle what that needed was just too much. Pitch to Campaneris is a ground ball base hit right side. And that's the 3rd hit for the Rangers. Bobby Thompson walked and scored in the 3rd. And you also have to have the trust of your coworkers in a situation like that. And that just wasn't ever going to happen. Throw to first, Campy back. And now Campy's going to try and steal. So nobody out, runner on there. Bob Lemon's reaction upon being told by Yankee President Al Rosen that he was a new manager. Remember, Lemon started the year in Chicago with the White Sox. Quote, "You kept me out of the Hall of Fame for years because of the balls you booted behind me, and now I got to work for you? That's funny. I like that." Runner goes, Munson throws down to Dan, and they got Campaneris. So a beautiful strike down the second, and there's 1 out and a 1-strike count. So Campy had the right numbers, wasn't a pitch out. And so it's no 1 count. It was a good throw from Munson. That is funny. Pitch to Thompson is a fly ball shallow right. Thomason is there. 2 out for Bobby Bonds. Bobby is 0 for 2. Tidrow threw 18 batters, 64 pitches, 4 2/3 innings, 3 hits, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Pitch. And there's a ground ball to Stanley over to first. And that will retire the side. The Rangers go in order. Oh, they got a hit in the caught stealing. After 5, it's 6-2 New York. So here's Thomason, Dent, and Stanley to face Comer, who's throwing 2 2/3 innings of excellent relief. Thomason is 0 for 2. Pitch to from Comer, strike 3. Got him looking on an 0-2 pitch. Second strikeout for Steve. 43 pitches through 3 innings and a hit. Bucky Dent is 0 for 2. Pitch. Ground ball to third. Hara. It pretty much had time to autograph it. Throws to Hargrove for the out. So 2 quick out for Stanley, who's 0 for 2. 6-2 New York. 6 runs, 7 hits, an error for the Yankees. They've left 3 on. The Rangers, 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors. They've left 2 on. And there's a ground ball to Hara over across the way again, and that should and will retire the side. The Yankees go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 5.5, 6-2 New York. So Bump Wills, Jim Sundberg, and Richie Zisk to bat here for the Rangers. Wills 1 for 2. Has singled and drove home a run in the third. Up the middle, base hit. So Rivers will pick it up, and Wills is kind of glued to first now. Jim Sundberg is 1 for 2. He has struck out and singled. Tidrow from the throws to first. Wills is back, and again glued to first. Sundberg ready now. Pitch. Up the middle, might be 2. Dent, Stanley for 1, over to Chambliss. They got the force, they got Sundberg's. 6-4-3. So every time the Rangers threaten, they can't put 2 and 2 together. It's kind of like me in algebra. Here's Richie Zisk. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Pitch from Tidrow. Richie into left field. White. In the corner makes the catch, and that will retire the side. Roberto's great. You're going to love it, Lorenzo. Really, really. No runs, a hit, no errors. Steve Comer coming out to pitch some more after 6-2 Yankees. Top of the lineup for New York, Rivers, White, and Munson. Mickey 1 for 3 with a run scored. And that hit was a single. Comer's pitch, and that's a fly ball, shallow right center. Thompson comes in for the out, 1 away. Roy White, 1 for 2, a walk and a run scored. And there's a line drive right field. It's going to drop in front of Bonds, and White is going for 2. The throw to Campaneris, and Roy's in there. You know, I agree. I think Billy Martin's worst enemy was definitely himself. Steinbrenner, and say what you will about him, and trust me, I will, paid Martin the rest of his $78 salary, all of his $79 salary in advance, and offered to sign Martin to a 5-year special advisor contract. I feel terrible for Bob Lemon to be in the middle of that. I hope Lemon was well compensated for that. Yankees, of course, love Billy to the point where Yogi Berra stopped doing anything with the team. Pitch to Thurman. Struck him out. Comer got him on a 2-2 fastball for strike 3. That's 3 for Steve. 2 out for Chambliss. 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. Hit was a single. Ground ball to Hargrove. Underhands it to Comer, covering, and the side is out. Yankees, no runs, a hit, no error. Stretch time. 6-2 New York. I don't know off the top of my head if that happened after the 78 season. That would be terrible. Hargrove, Hara, and Putnam to face Tidrow here in the 7th. Hargrove is 0 for 2. Pitch from Tidrow is a base hit right side between Stanley and Chambliss in the hole and right. 5th hit for the Rangers. The Yankees have 8. Toby Hara is 0 for 2. Yankees 6 runs, 8 hits, an error. They've left 4 on. The Rangers 2 runs, 5 hits, and no errors, and they've stranded 2 so far. Pitch to Hara is a base hit left side. Hargrove will hold, and the Rangers have got something cooking here in the bottom of the 7th. For Pat Putnam, who's 0 for 2. Normally, I don't pinch hit until the 3rd time through. Who are my choices? I need someone to hit a righty. And the answer is nobody can hit a righty. But we'll pretend John Lowenstein can. John's at 247, 5 homers, and 17 RBI. Looking spiffy in his Rangers uniform. Pitch to Lowenstein in the left center. Back goes Rivers. He'll make the catch at the base of the track. Hargrove will tag and run on Rivers. The throw to Nettles in time. They doubled him off. So Mickey Rivers with an absolute howitzer to 3rd, and they get Hargrove. So Hara holds at 1st, and Campaneris is 1 for 2. Oh, that's terrible. I didn't know that as far as Lemon's son dying. Oh. So Munson and Tidrow lets Rivers kind of go there. Pitch to Campaneris, struck him out. A 2-2 in there at the knees, and that will retire the side. No runs, 2 hits. The Rangers strand a runner after 7, 6-2 New York. Oh, a car crash. 10 days after the 78 series. His 26-year-old son was killed in a car crash. Oh, you're just never the same after that. You are absolutely never the same. Lemon, of course, would manage the Yankees in 81. Yep, and 5 days after Lemon got the manager's job at Old Timers Day, Steinbrenner announced that Martin would be the manager as of 80. Oh, yeah, I remember that. And, of course, Billy would go to Oakland. No wonder why they were called the Bronx Zoo. And in the chat, no one but Steinbrenner and Martin knew in advance. So here's Comer. Faced Nettles, Jackson, and Thomason here in the 8th. Nettles has doubled homer, driven in 4 today, and is 2 for 3. Fly ball left field. Zisk, 1 out. Yep. So Bob Lemon took the fall for the Yankees not winning a 3rd straight American League East crown. And that was a cluster fudge. Tribe fan, that whole decade was a cluster fudge for the Yankees. But sometimes people will fight and people will succeed. And just like the A's in the mid-70s, that's what the Yankees were in that era. Here's Reggie. He's 2 for 3. A single twice and driven in a run. His 54th. Got him. Comer got him to swing and miss on a 2-2. Off-speed pitch. That's 4 for Steve. And here's Thomason. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. 2 out here, top of the 8th. 6-2 New York. Into right, Bonds has it to retire the side. So the Yankees go in order. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's still 6-2 Bombers. So Thompson, Bonds, and Wills to face Tidrow, who's sitting on 98 pitches through 7. Thompson 0 for 1. He has walked and scored. Little nubber, Chambliss on the grass, underhands it to Tidrow, got him. So 1 out for Bobby Bonds, who's 0 for 3. Tidrow, 101 pitches through 27 batters. 7 in the 3rd inning, 6 hits, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Both runs are unearned. Pitch to Bobby, ground liner in the left field. That's a hit, and that's it for Tidrow. Here comes Sparky Lyle. who would also go to Texas. So Sparky is 8-1 with a save and a 3.49 ERA. This is his 31st appearance. The Cy Young Award winner for 77 has faced the Rangers 4 times, 2 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned with a walk. And an ERA of 9. He pitched last night against the Rangers, an inning and a third, 2 hits. So overall, 49 innings, 58 hits, 20 runs, 19 earned, 5 homers allowed. He's walked 15 and struck out 17. Bugs Bunny fastball at 83, and he throws to the ground. I'm not touching that one. So Wills is 2 for 3. He has singled twice with an RBI. I think George just read too much of his own press. Pitch to Wills is a ground ball and Nettles. Might be 2. Stanley for 1. Wills will beat it out. I'm sure Tribe Fan knows this. George Steinbrenner, of course, got his money as a shipbuilder. Ship, S-H-I-P. And, yep, Cleveland Shipping Magnet, yep. And tried to buy the Indians, his hometown team, and was refused. And was part of the consortium to buy the New York Yankees from CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. Sundberg, by the way, 1 for 3. He singled, struck out, and grounded into a double play. I don't know if the Yankees would have been better off without Steinbrenner. You know, I mean, George made the Yankees front page news in the papers. You could be front page news in Cleveland. But he really helped restore some of the stuff to New York. Pitch to Sundberg is a base hit, right center field. Going to go all the way to the wall. Wills will round third and score. Or trying to score. Rivers throws it in the infield. Sundberg's in with a double. Here comes the Goose at 6-3. So the Rangers now have a save situation. They went with someone else, Maletti. At least he wasn't Ted Stepien. And Big Clue says to be from. I'm not reading that one. He might have been an owner of the Cleveland team in the ill-fated American Basketball League. So Gossage is called in for the save. This is his 28th appearance of the year. He's 3-1, 17 saves on the year with an ERA of 1.60. Against the Rangers, he has 2 saves. This is his 4th appearance. 6 innings, 4 hits. He has struck out 4 and given up a run. I don't think Steinbrenner would have done that with Frank Robinson. Robinson would have told him what boat to ride in on. Gossage hasn't pitched in 4 days. He went 3 innings against the Tigers on the 2nd. Allowed a hit, a run. He walked 3 and struck out 1. 50 2/3 innings, 31 hits, 9 runs, 4 homers. He has walked 14 and struck out 42. He is a fly ball plus pitcher, which won't hurt him here. And that fastball is at 95. I don't have it set. I think you can make that one of the rules that you got to warm somebody up. Richie Zisk is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Gossage delivers. Ball 4. So the Rangers now have the tying run at the plate for Mike Hargrove, who was 1 for 3. So Sundberg on second. Zisk on first. And Gossage trying to save Billy Martin's bacon again. Hargrove might be 2. Stanley's only play is to first. Chamba stays on the bag, and, well, you only need the 1 runner, and so they got out of it because Uncle Ron doesn't know how many outs there were. Texas does get a run on 2 hits, though, and no errors. They strand 2. We've played 8, 6-3 Yankees. So Comer's night is done. 5 2/3 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, and 4 strikeouts. Bucky Dent will face Reggie Cleveland. Reggie, making his 22nd appearance, coming over from the Boston Red Sox, is 3-3 with 8 saves in Texas and an ERA of .79. He is a junk ball pitcher. Ground ball plus. He last went against the White Sox on the 15th of June, so he's got plenty of rest. An inning and 2/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He didn't walk anybody and struck out 1. So 34 1/3 innings, 21 hits, 2 homers, 5 runs in total, 3 earned. He has walked 6 and struck out 20. So here's Bucky. He's 0 for 3. Pitch. There's a base hit into left field. Zisk will pick it up. And the Yankees have their 9th hit. Start the 9th. Here's Stanley. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. To get back to the Steinbrenner comparisons, you know who I would compare him to, just to keep it in the world of sports? Jerry Jones, and to a lesser degree, Mark Cuban. Stanley strikes out. Cleveland got him on a full count. Foul tipped in the mitt of Sundberg, and there's 1 out for Rivers, who was 1 for 4 with a run scored and a single. When Jerry Jones has his highs, the Cowboys are excellent. And when Jerry Jones meddles too much, the Cowboys suffer. And I would think that is an apt comparison to most of the Steinbrenner years. Pitch to Rivers is a ground ball to Wills. Takes it to the bag himself. Throws over to first. I think Rivers beat it out. In fact, it gets away from Hargrove. It's not an error. It's still a fielder's choice. So Will stepped on the bag for 1, and the throw to Hargrove was low. So Rivers beat it out. 2 out for White, who's 2 for 3. With a double, a walk, and a run scored. Throw to first. Rivers is back. Snyder never had the success of Steinbrenner. Steinbrenner and Al Davis, I think, are pretty much cut from the same cloth. Wouldn't you agree? Same egos. Oh, for sure. Steinbrenner's ego was huge. Pitch to White is a ground ball right back to Cleveland. Over to Hargrove, and that will retire the side. So we go to the bottom of the 9th. The Rangers need 3. Hara, Lowenstein, and Campaneris to face Gossage. So good luck, Toby. You're 1 for 3. Got himself a single. 6 runs, 9 hits, and error for the Yankees. They've left 5 on. Texas, 3 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. They've left 5 on as well. Pitch to Hara. Ball 4. It might be Lenny Barker's picture. Don't know. Here's Lowenstein. He's 0 for 1. He pinch hit for Putnam. Gossage has walked 2 in this game. Pitch to John. Struck him out. A 93-mile-an-hour fastball, and it was looked at for strike 3. Here's Campy. Campy is going to bunt. He's 1 for 3. He has struck out and scored. Here's the pitch. Bunt is down. Munson throws to Stanley, and Hara moves to second. So 2 out for Thompson, who is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. So last chance saloon for the Rangers. I think Robbie's just taking a little vacation, Lorenzo. Pitch to Thompson. Struck him out. The Yankees win the ball game. So Gossage will get the save. A 1-2 fastball at 93. And a strike 3 called. So the Yankees, for the moment, are tied for first. Hey, Kurt, thanks to have you along. Thanks for coming. Dick Tidrow gets the win. He goes to 6 and 4. 7 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, 1 earned. A walk on 3 strikeouts. Gossage got the same, an inning and a third, 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. Medic just was terrible. 2 in the third inning, 6 hits, 6 runs all earned. A homer to Nettles, who drove in 4. Craig, by the way, your digital dice player of the game. He walked 2 and struck out none. Comer, 5 2/3 innings of yeoman relief. 2 hits and 4 strikeouts. You get to see me. So the Yankees, for the moment, are tied with the Orioles at 48 and 33. Let's play the rest of this Thursday, shall we? The Mets beat the Cubs 5-4. Nino Espinosa and you with the 6th win of the year. John Stearns is 8th, or Stearns with his 8th of the year. Baltimore beats Toronto. Don Stanhouse goes to 7-1. Kenny Singleton homers twice. He has 13, and he also has 3 RBI. Montreal beats Philadelphia. The Expos have fallen under 500, but Ross Grimsley gets his 11th. They beat Jim Cott and the Phillies 7-4. Cleveland 9, Detroit 4. Rick Waits goes to 7-6. St. Louis defeats Pittsburgh 3-2. John Denny goes to 7-8. The Pirates steal 5 bases. Phil Garner with 2. Kansas City all over California 8-2. Marty Patton his first win. Ron Jackson with his 5th of the year. In the Battle of the Hosiery, the White Sox beat the Red Sox 4-1. Wilbur Wood goes to 5-7. Louis Tiant goes to 5-6. Giants beat the Padres 5-3. Bob Nepper goes to 10-7. Wilbur Wood, by the way, held the Red Sox to 3 hits. Seattle beats Oakland 5-3. Paul Mitchell shampoos out John Henry Johnson. Romo with his 10th save. And Atlanta 6. Los Angeles 3. Phil Niekro outduels Rick Rhoden. The Sarge, Gary Matthews, with the 7th of the year. Patton, by the way, in that win over California, struck out 6 and walked 1. So tomorrow at noon Eastern, we'll have the Brewers and the Yankees. Yep, the Dodgers knuckled under the pressure. Here are the standings as we get ready for the Brewers and the Yankees tomorrow. Phillies by 3.5 over Pittsburgh. Dodgers by 5 over Houston. Baltimore a half game up on the Yankees. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do that because the Brewers are 4 back. Kansas City 2.5 over Texas and California. So tomorrow, it's the Yankees and the Brewers. Friday, you see Baltimore and Kansas City. And then Sunday, you'll watch Los Angeles and Houston. So everybody stay safe. Support chat 6:30 tonight. I am playing All-Star Lineup Baseball with Craig Wessel, the creator of the game, at 8 o'clock. Not sure where you can see it, if it'll be later or what, but that's what I'm doing tonight. You guys have a great day. That takes us to the All-Star break, so the All-Star game will be Monday in prime time. How about that? So there you go. Big weekend of baseball for you. Dodgers, Astros, Orioles, Royals, and Yankees, Brewers. Take care. Bye-bye.